If you've watched many of my videos, you know how fond I am of my Pentax digital spot meter. I've covered it a lot on this channel, and in my on-location videos, you've seen me use this thing many times. I absolutely love this meter, and that's why it's the main meter that I cover in my online course about manual metering for film photography. Now, a close second to this meter is the Pentax Spot Meter 5, which is currently my backup meter. But you can see that it's quite a hulking beast of a meter, so it's not exactly easy to travel with, but still a fantastic meter. And both of these Pentax meters are far superior, in my opinion, to the Sekonic spot meters. Whether it's an older model like this or one of the brand new ones with the big fancy screen, the Sekonic spot meters, as accurate as they are so freaking bloated with features and functions and menus and buttons and a bunch of stuff that just gets in the way of what is a very simple and clean and effective metering process, the one that I cover on my course. So I find myself pulling my hair out if I try and use a Sekonic meter, because there's so many things that get in my way when I could just use a much simpler meter to get much better results. So the Pentax meters are fantastic, but they're not making any more of them. These things are only getting older, they're only getting more expensive, and they're only breaking down more often. And so I've had this dilemma where there isn't any modern light meter on the market that I've felt comfortable supporting or using. That is, until today. There is a company called Reveni Labs, based out of Canada, that is releasing this Reveni Labs Spot Meter. It's small, it's compact, it's lightweight. That's why I put it in my pocket so you can see how small it is, really drive the point home. But this is launching on Kickstarter right now. And I strongly urge you to go support it, because this is the first new production modern light meter that I've actually been excited about. And there's a couple reasons for that. First off, it's new, so we don't have to worry about it breaking down because it's a 20-year-old light meter. But most importantly, the designer of this, his name's Matt at Reveni Labs, he reached out to me a little while back and asked if I would give feedback on this upcoming meter. And when I first saw the email, I almost responded with, nah, no thanks, because how could it ever compete with my Pentax meters? But as I started talking to him more, I realized what an incredible inventor he is, and how interested he is in making a good, quality, affordable light meter for the masses. And so as I went back and forth with him, we realized that we can actually implement my metering technique that I teach on my course, the precision method to manual metering, can be implemented directly into the meter. And Matt, with all of his genius, has put into this meter a precision method mode, which makes it possible for you to apply the precision method to manual metering step by step with the meter to guide you along every step of the way. I am absolutely blown away by how cool that mode is. The way he designed it, the way he implemented my metering process it's so freaking cool. I'll just be honest. And if you've done my course, the displays you're seeing right now are probably quite familiar to you and might look kind of interesting. And that's because they are. Not only is it applying the precision method step by step, but you can set the low and high limits of your dynamic range. So on the course, if you went through the lesson where I showed you how to determine the exact dynamic range of your film, given the developing you do, the scanning process you do, the printing process you do, your whole workflow, when you factor all that in, the dynamic range of your film might be unique to you. And so adjusting the metering process to your exact workflow is covered in the course. And on the meter, you can input the low and high dynamic range limits that you've determined from the course. So it's completely customizable to your exact workflow. Really fantastic features. Now, it doesn't only have a precision method mode, it has a standard spot reading mode similar to a Sekonic, where it gets a middle tone reading and offers exposure compensation if you want to sway it off of middle tone. It also has an average meter reading, similar again to the Sekonic, where you can average multiple tones and get your reading that way. But the PMM mode, the precision method mode, is really where the exciting stuff is for me. So it's an incredible meter, it's incredible design. It has a unique way of aiming that I've never seen on a meter before. You basically use both eyes. One eye is looking through the meter, the other eye is looking at your subject, and it creates kind of an overlay. It creates like a heads-up display. Now, when I first heard about that technique, I thought, well, there's no way to tell exactly where you're metering then, because what if you're pointing up or pointing down but looking forward? It's actually much more intuitive and accurate than I thought. You can get pretty accurate on what exactly you're pointing at using that unique heads-up display design. So really, really cool meter. And I would love for you guys to go support the Kickstarter. Now, if you are a student on my course, I've worked out a great deal with Matt here, where if you're a student in my course, you can get 10% off the meter, 10% off full price. Now, because it's a Kickstarter, we have to let the Kickstarter close before you can get the discount. So instead of a discount when you contribute, you'll be getting a rebate at the end. So if you support the Kickstarter, you support the meter at full price, at the end of it, you'll get 10% back as a student of my course when you support the meter. Now, if you do buy the meter full price and you're not yet enrolled in my course, you can get 10% off my course. So we're doing a reciprocal thing here. Students in my course get 10% off the meter. People who buy the meter full price get 10% off my course. And by the way, it's one or the other. You don't get both. So really good deal we've worked out with me and Reveni Labs. So go support the meter. Go support a new startup that's trying to advance the film photography community. Even if you're not planning on taking my course, I think you really should support Reveni Labs. And finally, if you are enrolled in my course, know that my course includes lifetime course access, so you'll be able to go back to the materials whenever you want. And I will be updating the course with videos on how to use the meter. So I'm going to add 2 or 3 new videos to the curriculum that cover precisely how to use the Reveni Labs Spot Meter with the precision method of manual metering. I'll cover all the functionalities on it, not just PM mode. So stay tuned for that. I have a prototype production model right now, and I'm waiting for a full production model because we're going to iron out a few creases on it before I do the videos. But once I have the full production model, I'll be updating the course with those videos. So you'll be able to get instructions straight from the horse's mouth with the horse's face, and using the new Reveni Labs Spot Meter. All right, that's all I have for you. Go support that Kickstarter, and I hope to see you in class.